Welcome to this special edition of Inside the Capitol. With the election about 1 month away, we wanted to talk with an outgoing legislator. So we chose Representative Matt Dean, who's chair of the Health and Human Service Committee, but also a Catholic who represents the areas of White Bear Lake and Delwood. We wanted to get his thoughts as he leaves legislative service. So Representative Dean, thank you for joining us this morning. First question I want to ask is, as a Catholic and a legislator, how have you balanced those two during your legislative career?
Well, when I began serving, I thought that there would be this great big wall between your faith and between your work. And we've all heard about the separation of church and state. And when I came in as a new legislator, I kind of thought that that's how it would be. But what I found is that everybody who comes to the legislature brings with them their past, their history, their beliefs, and that's a good thing. That informs your decision making, it informs your empathy towards other people, and it also makes you a better legislator. As Catholics, one of the things that I'm very proud of is that our church always has protected the vulnerable, and people of faith have rallied around the vulnerable, whether it be the unborn or the disabled or the frail elderly. And I think that is something that I'm very proud of for our faith here at the Capitol.
So Representative Dean, you've been here, a decade and a half of service. What are some ways that you've seen this place change, seen the legislature change, either for the better or for the worse?
So the pressures and time, I think, has kind of gotten higher and higher. And that's really taken more and more authority away from the legislators and the chairs. So I think we need to kind of slow down when we're here. The chairs need to step up and to really re-engage the legislators. And also for people who are here to really understand the balance between work and serving. Go ahead.
So Representative Dean, as an outgoing legislator, what advice would you give your colleagues who are going to be at the Capitol, staying here next year, and also incoming legislators on really how to overcome the divisiveness that seems to rule politics these days?
The advice that I got when I first came here was that you represent your conscience first, your constituents second, and your caucus third. And that's always stuck with me, and it's been good advice all the way along.
So I think there's a feeling today among many Catholics, they've taken the time to form their conscience. They've learned what the social doctrine of the church and Catholic social teaching, and yet they still feel like they don't have a home in either party, and just can't oftentimes find the right person to vote for in either party. What would you tell those individuals, and then also what would you tell them are other ways that they can get involved in the public arena?
It's very easy to get frustrated with politics today. It's so partisan, it's so divided, and you throw up your hands and you think it's the choice between two evils many times. And that's not really the way it is. But now more than ever, we need people of faith, people of character, people of conscience to show up, to help other people get elected, and to bring our values back into the public square, and to try to knock some sense into this culture. You have to do that through your elected officials, also through leadership at your work, in your school, in your kids' school. You got to show up because it's a lot like swimming upstream. If you kind of stop swimming, you kind of get taken downstream with everything else. So you got to stay in there and keep working, and don't be frustrated. Try to help good people. There's a lot of really good people representing folks in the state of Minnesota here, and they need help too. So contact them.
So what advice or wisdom would you give someone thinking about running for office, or wanting to come and serve here at the Capitol?
So I'd say if you don't want to run, think about running. If you do want to run, really understand the time commitment and the life balance that you have. If you can make your home life work, that's great. And the most important piece of advice is, if you're married, ask your spouse if they will vote for you. If you can't get that vote, don't bother asking for anybody else, because that's not worth it. But if you can get your family to kind of say, yeah, we can do this, we understand the sacrifice involved, it's a great thing to do, and it's a great way to give back to the state and it's a great way to bring your values out into the public square and to make the state a better place.
I just want to say thank you on behalf of the state for your service, and especially coming here as a Catholic and serving and trying to do your best to balance faith and your public service, and we wish you well for the future.
Thanks for all you're doing.
To learn more about the upcoming election and to get resources, you can go to mncatholic.org/election. There you'll find some great resources to form your conscience, inform your vote, and transform our state for the better.